If you have player piano rolls like I do that have damaged boxes, maybe even no boxes, labels falling off, all sorts of damage, then I'm going to show you how to make your own boxes. Today I'm going to show you how to take this 12 by 18 chipboard paper and this diode laser to create this piano roll box. So let's get to it. All right, so the first step in making the piano roll box is we need to get a template in order how to cut it out for the laser to know what to cut. So what I found is the site is template maker, .nl and what it pulls up this page here, and this is called template maker, and you can see all across the top is the couple dozen different types of boxes you can make. Now I'm using about like a 12 by 18 piece of chipboard material. And so I want a template with the dimensions that can fit on one sheet of paper. You can see here on the far left here, there's a box with a lid that you could use to make a traditional piano roll box, but then it's going to use two pieces of the chipboard. And so what I found is the one box that fits is this shallow box that fits on one piece. So I only have to do fit it on the laser in one cut. So we'll click on shallow box here. Now when you click on this, you can see on the far left you get a picture of what the box looks like, and then down here below it you'll see some parameters that you need to input over here to the right to get the size that you need. And then over to the far right here you can see this diagram, and this is what the actual template will be when you put your dimensions in. And this changes as we change the dimensions here. So I'm going to go in. You can work in within units you want, but I'm going to work with inches. And for the length of the roll, this would be 12.3. So that fits the roll with a little bit extra room. And I find that 2.1 inches is a good for medium-sized rolls, 2.1 inches. And that way I can put a 2x2 label on the end of it as well. So you see as I click on this, it changes this template here in this upper right. Now the dust flap, talked about these dust flaps here on the edges, and they hold down the tuck flap basically. And I find to make sure it still keeps on my one page or one sheet of a chipboard, it needs to be about 0.3. The thumb hole, 0.75 works for me, and the same for the tuck flap. 0.75 tuck flap. And then the glue flap up here in this picture, these are these tabs, and that'll glue to this end. And I find that 0.6 is more than adequate for that. Nothing else we need to mess with. I'm going to have it save as a PDF because I can import that PDF into my laser software, Lightburn, and then we can make adjustments from there. So once that's all done, you can see the final what it's going to look like. And I'm going to go ahead and say create. And what that does is then that goes ahead and downloads my file then. That completes then downloading the template and getting it ready to run on the laser. All right, so here's the Lightburn program. And this is for the my diode laser. So when I open it up here, you see a grid pattern. And this represents the work surface area of the diode laser. So anything outside those parameters I can't cut. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and import the file of the template we created for the box. So we'll go up here to File, Import, and I call this the piano box medium, a PDF file. All right, so I pull that in here, and first thing you'll see is it actually is too wide for the grid. So if it's outside these lines, it won't do anything. So I need to make sure this fits. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these little images that were part of the file and just delete those. And the next thing I'm going to do is select this whole thing. And I'm actually going to rotate it because we know the diagonal is more than the width. And boom, it fits within that space. So now by turning it, I can get one full sheet of that 12 by 18 to fit on this work surface area here and get it all in one cut. So now that I have that, I need to check the parameters that it's going to cut. And you'll see there's two different colors here. The red represents where it needs to cut all the way through, and the blue represents where it folds. So first of all, on the we'll look at the red line first. And right now, over here to the right, you can see the parameters are 250 millimeters per minute and 90% power. And I find that's the correct setting that I need to cut through this thickness of chipboard. So then we'll go over here and look at the blue lines. Now in here, I'm going to go in, click on this and go into extra the parameters here. So I find a 600 millimeter per minute speed for these lines, and 85% power is just enough so that it doesn't cut all the way through and bends. And by also setting the perforation, it doesn't cut through or doesn't cut all the way across. It skips every once in a while. So that way it prevents it from wearing through and basically the bend line eventually falling off. So this gives me the right parameters to give me a good fold line. So now once all those are set, I can go ahead and put in my chipboard on the actual laser and start this program and get it cutting. And that will be the next step. All right, so here I've had it going on the laser. You can see it actually has already cut the blue lines per our template, and now it's starting to hit the cut lines on the outside. And so there's really not much to this. It's just a matter of hitting, start on the laser and doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up from here, and then show you kind of near the end as well. All right, we're getting near the end, and one thing you'll notice here is I've got these little magnets that help hold down the chipboard, which is important. If there's kind of little gaps around here, the laser needs to stay at a fixed height. So if it moves, then it doesn't get a all the way good cut. So it looks like we're just about finished here. It crosses over to do the final cut there, and here we're done. So move on. All right, now that it's finished here, we're going to reach in and get it out. It's held down by these neodymium magnets, so I just need to move those out of the way and lift this out. And then I'm going to go ahead and get it cut out. Now you can see most of it's cut through anyway. And now I'm going to take the rest of it off. And of course, I'm the only one with a camera here and trying to hold it in frame at the same time as taking this off. So you'll watch me struggle a little bit. And it should be cut through everywhere, but there's some areas where it didn't go all the way through. I normally trim that with some scissors to take care of that and finish it off. But once I get it all off, there you do. You have the final completed cutout of the box template. So the next step then is to fold it at these fold lines. So you flip it over and then you just kind of bend at those lines. And this gives us the format here to get it ready to go to then glue the tabs on. So that'll be the next step, is get the tabs glued. So once we get those lines pre-folded, then we're going to use the CA glue here. It's really thin glue, and there's actually 4 places where we'll put the glue, and it shows right here. So these 2 little tabs here, we'll place some CA glue on the end of those and then fold it up into this end tab. And it doesn't take a lot of glue, just spread it on there and then hold it together for 4 or 5 seconds. Watch out you don't get anything in your eyes or your hands, and hold that and it sticks. And so once you get that folded up at both ends and glued up, it ends up looking like this box here. And then you can actually end up painting it whatever color you want. In my case, I painted my box black, and then if you have a label program maker like I do, I have a database of all my rolls, and I use a label maker program called Label Live. Design that and then put that sticker on the end, and you're good to go. So this completes how to make a piano roll box with the materials and equipment I showed. Have a great day.